There is a visual version of this podcast on my YouTube channel. If you're not there, you can check it out. Otherwise, you can just listen.
This is another Poets at War General Report. And here's your General, Joshua David Ling.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your general again. General? Your general. It's good to see you all. Metaphorically, of course, I'm looking at a camera. But, yeah, we just released the Poets at War interview with Phil Lawler, and that was excellent. One of the best Poets at Wars I've done so far. By far the biggest guest I've had so far. And I'm really looking forward to where things are going to go from here for Poets at War. Very, very, very excited about some of the other guests I'm reaching out to. Just keep praying that we get some good guests, people that I know, but also people that I don't know, and maybe some people, that you want on there. You can, send some suggestions my way, put a bug in the ear of some of your buddies, and we'll see who we can get on the show. Wanted to give us some progress on Project Not So Great Reset. I'm making some cool progress, even though money's a little short right now, a little bit tight. We're working on things. I'm working on some jobs that might be bringing in some extra income, and we'll be making some movement on that as well. A lot of stuff taken care of with the family. Had some really cool things happen with that don't want to bring up right now, but needless to say, God's been very, very good lately. Starting out, as you can see right here, this camera, the C920, Logitech C920, I've been working with. I've gotten to look a lot better. I'm a little greener than I want to be right now, but it's still looking pretty good. Green, a little too green/blue, but I really like what I've been able to do with this relatively cheap, no, not even relatively, very cheap webcam through OBS and through a lot of the settings. I also have found an app, and I'll be showing some stuff on the screen to show this kind of thing that I found. Basically, I have a bunch of old phones lying around with pretty good cameras, and wireless video has always been kind of an iffy thing, especially through NDI coming into OBS and all that other kind of stuff. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. It's wireless video to my computer so that I can record it. But let me grab one of those cameras. So yeah, for example, this is a Note 8. These do not work on most networks right now, or they may still for a little while longer, but they're phasing out certain features of the 4G network and the 3G network almost completely in favor of the 5G networks. And so these guys still have amazing hardware, but they're not really great as phones. So basically, they've got really nice 1080p cameras. You can do 4K, although through my plugin you can't. But point being that, and like I said, I'm showing some footage here of what I'm talking about. That was my daughter running through the room. I'm showing some footage of what I'm talking about, but there's some cool features and stuff. And I haven't bought this plugin yet. I'm waiting on some cash to come in for that. But the cool thing is, it does all the hard work using the encoder on the phone itself. So it takes a lot of the weight off of your PC and off of your network to process all the data that is coming out of that camera. And so I'm really excited. I've had up to 4 of these things and my webcam going into my computer and had no lag whatsoever. It has been fantastic. You want to say hi to people, Hazel?
No, I didn't. Sure?
Sure? Come say hi real quick. Say hi to folks.
Hello. Hi, two folks.
Hi to folks. Let me help her get this sweater on so she can feel a little bit warmer, then I'll be back with you guys. Anyway, yeah, but it's called DroidCam OBS, and it is awesome. I'm really excited about using that, because now I don't even have to buy any more webcams, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. I'm going to unbox this guy next, and it's just a Aeolune, whatever you want to call it. It's a cell phone tripod mount, nothing crazy. This is one of my recent purchases. I still have about 4 more to get, especially now that I am able to use the various cell phones that I have lying around as webcams. Really good webcams too. Let's go ahead and show here. Little plastic bag to open up. So this guy can rotate as needed. There is a threaded end here and here. So, and then this technically can come apart. I've used these before, not this particular brand, but yep, you can see that there, and you can tighten it down so that it doesn't easily move. This one is a screwed model. It actually screws and unscrews, which I thought I wasn't going to like, but this is really heavy duty, honestly, and I'm pretty happy with it. So basically you just stick your phone screen, whatever, in there like that and tighten it down. It's got little rubber feet to keep you from doing any damage to the phone. And that's basically how it will hold. It can hold in vertical or horizontal orientation. I'm pretty darn happy with it. The other purchase that I made recently that I really like is this guy right here. It is a shock mount, as you can see. Y'all saw the pop filter in the last one. I also got this shock mount that obviously if I'm hitting the mic, it's still gonna peak, but a lot less so if I'm moving things around, that sort of a thing. You can hear that a little bit, but it's not near as bad, believe me, as when before I had the shock mount. That's me hitting my desk a little bit of rumbling. But anyway, so that's what it sounds like. It was like a $20 shock mount. I don't have the info on that right now, but I can send you that if you really want to know what shock mount I got. It was specifically specified for the ATR 2100 mic, and I'm very, very happy with it. So, yeah, moving on from there, let's talk about removing and replacing items on the list. So there have been several items that I've removed and replaced as I go. I'm trying to, of course, keep the cost way, way down. My budget was around $2,000. Now it's more in the range of $1,500 because I've been able to replace and remove some things like, the phones instead of the webcams. And just a couple other random things. You'll see the Google Sheet that I have on my website updating with what I've changed and my rationale and that sort of a thing. So if you're interested in all those details and things, you can check it out. One of the items that I'm replacing are the brackets that I was going to buy to house my MacBook and the little fan that it sits on. And I am going to put it under the desk, but I'm going to be using these. Let me see if I can grab one. Hold on. Or basically I can point to them. There's a couple over here. These kind of brackets. You can see it on the wall. They're holding up my dulcitar and my guitar right there. And they're just these little white brackets that came with, back when I was working on maintenance for an apartment complex that I lived in. They were extra pieces that they let us keep for like blinds and things. And they work really, really well for just regular random bracket stuff. They're a little bit bendable, but they're very, very strong. You really have to bend them hard if you want to bend them. And they're just good all-purpose brackets. And I'm going to have a few extra of those because I'm going to be taking down the curtains that I currently have and the setup, and taking those brackets and a couple of the other ones that I have and turning them into under desk holders. They're sort of a U bracket. So you can, I already have them and I'm not going to be using them for the curtains anymore. So might as well be repurposing them, right? That brings some of the cost down. You can hear Peter possibly screaming in the background. If you can't, whatever. But another thing I've changed my mind on is more of an aesthetic thing, and take away from the amount of holes that I'm going to be needing to patch at some point. What I plan on doing is wallpapering these short walls, the one in front of me and the one behind me, all the way with stone realistic stone wallpaper. It's going to be a little bit more than what I had previously, but it'll be worthwhile. And I'm saving a little bit on paint, touch-up paint, and some other things. And I'd rather work with wallpaper than paint at this point in the build. Also, the long walls. I'm going to be doing that in a realistic white shiplap looking, which is wood, sort of look to it, a little rustic, a little bit worn. And so we're going to have more of a wood look on the long walls. So that'll be interesting when we finally get to that. Also, I have made some progress in internet. I have not fully confirmed, but partially confirmed the existence of gigabyte cable internet in my neighborhood. And it's in my price range, but I need to wait a little bit for taxes and that sort of a thing to come out to go ahead and go for that. That will mean I have to drop my Calyx internet, which the Calyx Institute, for those of you who don't know, if you look up the Calyx Institute, is a nonprofit that does education on mobile internet and other sorts of things. And so they have a service for $500 a year, which works out to about 40 something dollars a month, to have free 5G T-Mobile internet. And it's awesome, but I don't have great access where I'm at, and I don't have great speeds where I'm at in my neighborhood. And I really need it in my house, especially if I'm going to be using this whole setup for live streams and stuff. So what I was planning on was the WeBoost. I told you guys about that, a WeBoost cell booster to try and get better connection for what I have. But I think I'm going to get the, going to go ahead and bite the bullet and go with Xfinity, dance with the devil, so to speak. And hopefully it'll stay consistent and strong, and I'll have much better upload speeds, especially for streaming and for my freelance work. So that's my plan right now, waiting and seeing how that goes. Another thing is I want to talk about future live stream ideas. Once I get my internet working well, or I go to my church and use their internet for some certain things, I was thinking about some of the live streams I can do with you guys while building. I was thinking of putting on some of my stories in text-to-speech fashion while I do some work with my hands and type with you guys. One of the things I wanted to do, and I really kind of want to wait for the legs to come in for my table, but I plan on creating my Harmodonia map with Sharpie and stencils and that sort of a thing on my desk here. And that is something that I can do over a period of maybe an hour, a couple hours, streaming with you guys, talking with you, and listening to some of my stories. And I just thought that would be a fun thing to do. I had some other ideas, like if I'm wallpapering, I can set up a situation where you guys can hang out with me and talk, and we can talk about stories, listen to stories. We can do other stories, not just mine. We can do some text-to-speech snippets from Lord of the Rings or Narnia, and just hang out and enjoy. Maybe some fairy tales, and really enjoy some fairy tales and comment on them as we go. I really want to do some, situations where I'm doing a physical labor of maybe even writing, some live writing, some other sorts of things, and hang out with you guys, enjoy some stories, enjoy some music, whatever we can without copyright infringement, and just create a fun atmosphere to start the live streaming thing before I can really stand and perform for you guys. I have huge hope for the future on this project. I'm really excited with how well it's going and the little tiny steps that I've been able to make along the way that have made a big impact on the budget and on just generally the look of what I'm already doing. And I'm really excited to see how all these little steps are going to lead to something much better and much bigger. That being said, one of the little ways that I take care of things, and I'm not going to sponsor or anything like that, I have some games on my phone that I play that make some money, and like I said, I'm not going to sponsor them. But they send ads, and I get a little bit of the ad money cut. However, I do think that is another good idea for a stream. Me playing some games, that sort of a thing, earning some cash for the project, and hanging out with you guys. And if you want to contribute, you can go to joshuadavidling.com And there's a support button where you can contribute, and there's also a button specifically for the Not So Great Reset project, and you can go in there and you can check out my spreadsheets and all of the information on what I'm doing and kind of see where I'm at. Maybe throw a little money my way if you have it. Not totally fine if you don't. Take care of your family. And you can see the continuation of this build to streaming storytelling success. Thank you guys once again for listening to me ramble on this General's Report, and we'll see you in the trenches.